So, last video did pretty well. I didn't expect it to pop off the way it did. I mean, 1K views, 80 likes, not bad, right? But what really got me was the comments. People actually resonated with what I had to say in the last video, regarding its message. And honestly, if it made them happy, I'm happy too, you know? But not everybody was vibing. Apparently, if you post gameplay without a tutorial, it's a crime against democracy. Got people in the comments like, disliked, reported for terrorism. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, super citizen. Thing is, I'm not just making content about the game, I'm making something bigger than it. Stuff that might actually help someone get through real life missions too. So if people want to LARP as democracy officers and try to silence that, that's on them. But I'm still showing up, still getting my messages through. Now that the democracy officers filed his report, we can finally get to what this video is actually about. I'm guessing most of you didn't click expecting federal level hostility. You were probably just here looking for some clarity. Maybe some peace. Same. So yeah, no panic, no pitchforks, just some grounded thoughts for when your momentum fades and everything starts to feel stuck. Let's get into it before someone calls HQ again. Anyway, all that noise aside, what I really wanted to talk about today is that weird feeling. When your energy just kind of vanishes. Like, you wanted to do something, you meant to, but somehow you just never started. And now, everything feels kind of foggy and far away. It's not burnout exactly, just that quiet drift where momentum fades and nothing feels urgent anymore. But maybe that's just it. Maybe it's not even burnout. Maybe it's buildup. You know how it is. Little things stack up. The pressure to keep showing up. The guilt from not even finishing that one thing. Even just remembering 5 different passwords before breakfast. It's subtle, but it accumulates. And then one day, your brain's like, yeah, nah, we're not doing this today. You think you've lost momentum, but maybe you didn't. Maybe you just ran out of room to carry it all. And here's the thing. It's not that you're broken or failing. Think about when you have way too many tabs open in your browser and it just freezes for a second. It's not broken. It's just saying, hold up, I need a sec. You're kind of like that. You hit a wall not because you're weak, but because your system is overloaded. And maybe you're still pretending everything's fine. Momentum doesn't just disappear. Sometimes it pauses, like buffering. Sort of like a YouTube video, waiting for you to catch up to yourself again. And that's okay. Now, this part gets kind of weird. Trying to start again after a pause, it can feel off. Like you know you should be doing the thing, but it feels like you're just faking it now. You just be looking at that same project or goal and it kind of feels like it belongs to someone else, not you. But that's maybe because the version of you who started it isn't here anymore. And that's not a bad thing. It just means the way back isn't about forcing it. It's about re-meeting yourself, finding that connection again, slowly and gently. And that's where it gets interesting. Instead of pushing hard or rushing back, maybe it's about a softer approach. Like checking in with an old friend you haven't seen in a while. You don't have to do it all today, just a small step, something that reminds you why you cared in the first place. Momentum's more like a quiet return than a sprint, but also easing your way back in is important in the way of just working up to it. I think reducing your workload is low-key a meta strat when it comes to lowering that resistance, and smoothing yourself over. Okay, small tangent, worth it though. Let me drop an anime bar real quick. When Ryuko was wearing Senketsu, she used blood to have control over her life fibers. Not too tight, not too loose. Like finding your own wavelength in terms of pacing. You don't want to grind so hard you snap, turning into zombie Ryuko, all stuck in rage mode. But at the same time, you also don't want to slack off so much you're just a side character watching everyone else level up. So there's gotta be a balance, right? You still want to show up for yourself, but at a pace that actually feels like yours. Everyone's brain works a little different here, but personally, what's helped me most is just sitting down and giving like 20 minutes. That's it. Low pressure, just enough to feel like I moved. It's not about maxing out, it's not about ghosting your own goals. And yeah, having some kind of routine, kinda underrated. Not the whole wake up at 5 a.m. grind, just something light that helps you ease in. Maybe you're the kind of guy who likes structure, maybe you stack habits, maybe you just like doing your own thing at your own time. Either way, that little bit of structure, it's less about discipline, more like a soft landing. It's so you don't burn out trying to sprint everywhere all the time. And speaking of discipline, like I mentioned earlier, we kinda tend to antagonize it like it's this unstoppable force. And I'm talking John Wick with a planner, just cause we've seen people hustle so hard, they make the rest of us feel lazy by default. But honestly, it's not always that deep. Discipline doesn't have to be loud or intense. Sometimes it's not structure in the strict sense, more like a rhythm you settle into without even noticing. Just enough to feel like you're still tethered, even when the rest of you's drifting a bit. So if you're trying to ground yourself, maybe it's as simple as picking 3 small things to do today. Nothing crazy, nothing wild, just enough to feel like you moved. Or maybe you reward yourself after doing one of them. Like, cool, I did the thing, now I chill for a bit. That kind of rhythm adds up, and even the tiniest actions like rinsing your dish or straightening your blanket can anchor you more than you might think. It's less about being productive, more about not letting the day drift too far off course. Just enough to keep the thread from slipping completely off your hands. Well, I've already yapped your ears off with all the analogies and twists, but hey, hope you got something out of it. If there's any topics you want me to touch on next, drop it in the comments. Until then, see you around.